Hello everybody, this is the knowledge check review for week 4. Here's what the paper looks like. There's the first side, there's the second side. So let's just jump right into it. So starting us off, first question was to draw whole notes on all the possible places music notes can exist on the staff between the two whole notes that I've written, which would be this note and this note. Make sure you can see those. So again, this was actually on the last knowledge check review, but basically all we're going to do is just draw a whole note on every single line or space. I'm just making a little staircase as we go up. Just like that. So it's all the possible places that they could have gone. If you put quarter notes, half notes, whatever, that's fine, so long as we had these. If you missed like anywhere from 3 to, I'm gonna say anywhere from 2 to 4, I probably gave you a doc of quarter point. If you missed more than 5, anywhere from like 5 to 7 or so, I made you lose half a point. If you didn't get most of them, like if you only wrote like, I don't know, 2 or 3 notes, you probably got 3/4 of the note, or 3/4 of the of the point taken away. So second one, draw 1 quarter note, 1 half note, and 2 eighth notes. So on the dotted line, that would look like 1 quarter note, 1 half note, and 2 eighth notes. Now again, these eighth notes, you can either write them with their individual flags like this, or you could have also written them tied together, or not tied together, but paired together like that. So either are acceptable for that, all right? So those are the first 2 questions. For number 3, I'm gonna write out all of the different notes that were given here. But this one, all you really had to do was identify the solfege that goes with each of them, with each of the notes. And I gave you the first one being do. So once I finish writing these up, last one. Okay, so we can all see those. So first one is do. So anytime I see a note with that line in the middle of it, I know that note is do. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go around and I have 3 do's here, okay? Then, the note up from do is re. The note up from re is mi. Now, I see that mi pops up in other places, so I'm gonna put mi there too, just to save myself some time. And it also shows up on this line right here, mi. So mi is on the first line of the staff. Then, going from here, a note up from mi, do, re, mi, fa. Fa. Up from fa would be so. Do, re, mi, fa, so. There's mi again. I can see that fa, I'm not seeing any other notes in the example, so I'm not gonna write anywhere else. But so, I see that I have 1, 2, 3 more so's. So I'm gonna put those in there. So you can kind of see how it almost fills itself out. You can absolutely go one by one, but I like to think more horizontally, be a little more strategic with it. So if this note is so, the note up from so would be la, right? So, needle pulling thread, la, a note to follow so, right? So la comes after so. And then after la, you have ti, a drink with jam and bread, ti, so la, ti, so. And then after ti, this one tripped up a couple people because they thought that maybe this would be la or something like that. If ti was here, the next note up from this line would be the next space, which in this case is here. So ti always leads to do. So, to recap, do, re, mi, do, mi, fa, so, mi, so, la, ti, so, Do, so, mi, do. So yeah, both of these are do. This one's do, and this one is do. And these two are do as well. So that's number 3 for you. Once I get this marker back on here. All right, number 4, parts of the 8th note. So this one was another one that was in this video. So here is the 8th note in question, or the music note, and you were given the words flag, head, and stem. And they looked like that, that, and that. So right here, I'm actually going to go bottom up here. Here, this is the head of the note head. This line that goes up and down is the stem. And then this little curvy part is the flag. Sometimes notes don't have flags, and sometimes notes don't even have stems. The only note that doesn't have a stem would be a whole note, right? Half notes have a head and a stem. Quarter notes have a head and a stem. 8th notes have a head, stem, and flag. And if we went to a 16th note, a 16th note actually has 2 flags. So, but we haven't really talked about that yet. So, but maybe that's on the next one, right? So those 16th notes, 2 flags. And if you're writing them barred, they look like this. So those are your 8th notes, right? This line above them sort of is the same thing as a flag. If I put a 16th notes, 2 lines, 2 flags. So there's that. That might be on the next knowledge check. So watch out for that. All right, flipping the page over to 5. All we're doing here is we're just following the song that we sang. Do, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun, me, a name I call myself, fa, a long way to run, so, a drink with, so, a needle falling thread, la, a note to follow, sol, ti, a drink with jam and bread, and that brings us back to do. So, so this one was low, and this one was high do. I'm not going to write out all the descriptions, but the pattern, if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots, right? Then I should have had a pattern that looked something like this. Low do would go just past the middle. High do would go just past the middle. La and ti traded places, they made like a long X. Same thing with re and mi. And then fa and so, fa went down to the bottom and so went up to the top. So it should have looked something like this, but again, I understand if you didn't write straight lines, so that's that one. Okay, multiple choice. So this one kind of stumped a few of you. And the question was, what is the word or words we have used to describe our oohs and ahs during the proud warm-up? So, I just want to let you know I'm proud, and the ooh, or the notes that you sing. So we've called that improvisation. Or I might have also said improvising, or improv. Improvisation is when you make it up, which is option D. However, improvisation is the word that we use when we're talking about music in particular. When we improvise, again, there's no wrong note to sing. The only wrong thing to do would be to not sing at all. So again, that's improvisation. The other words on there, option A was solfege. Solfege is our hand signs, right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So we haven't used solfege for proud. And then letter C, this word, is pronounced embouchure, embouchure. And that's essentially the shape inside your mouth. So when I sing an ah vowel, like ah versus e, the shape that my tongue makes inside my mouth changes. And so that changes the embouchure. Embouchure is, again, the shape inside your mouth. So this might also appear on the on next week's, but I'm not 100% sure about that because it's something we haven't talked about a whole lot. So we will see on that one. Okay. Number 7, true or false. The true or false was the two rhythms, or the two pictures below, show the same rhythm. So one picture was this, and the other one was this. Just like we talked about earlier, these flags mean the same thing as one line across two notes like that. So these are 2 8th notes, and these are 2 8th notes. So they have the same exact rhythm. So that answer was true. Number 8, this one stumped most people. So if you didn't get this, that's completely okay. We only did it for like a day, maybe 2 days, and it was during warm-ups. So if you got it, hats off to you. If not, no big deal. It's completely okay. Again, these are just things that I want to see if you remember, because, you know, either I need to review it or like, oh, everyone got that, everyone knew that. So then, you know, it's just how I'm assessing you and how I'm changing my teaching for better. So the first one was the word fast. When we would sing, doe, a deer, a female deer, and we go really fast, there are 2 different words you could use. The first one was vivace. And that's how it's spelled. If you spelled it differently, I probably caught it. Or presto. Okay? Or presto is the way I said it. Or vivace, Italian. Okay? Slow, the word we used for slow was largo. Largo. For soft, if you actually looked at the front of the classroom, this one is actually right underneath the screen. This one's piano. Piano means soft. Also, it's the same thing as the P marking in our music. So if you ever see a lowercase p in music, that means piano. Finally, loud. Again, this one was actually at the front of the classroom. That was forte. Okay. So forte is loud, piano is soft, largo is slow, and vivace or presto is fast. So that is the entire knowledge check. So I'm thinking that for next time, we'll probably have more of those identify the solfege syllables. I'm also thinking that, and this is gold here, we're going to start talking about the difference between steps and skips. So if a note switches from a line to another line, like this, that would be considered a skip. We haven't really talked about these a whole lot, but these are skips. Okay? The ones that we have been using are when notes are right above or below each other like this, where a line note goes to a space note. This is called a step. All right. So I might ask you on the next knowledge check if between 2 notes, say this note and this note, is a step or a skip, and I'll have you circle step or skip. In this case, we have a line to another line, which means it's a skip. Another example could be something that looks like this. Space to another space, which would be a skip. Here's another one. this case, this note is through a line, it's just not on the staff, and this note is on a space. So this would be a step. One more example. If I have this note going to this note, I have gone from a space line, or a space note, to a line note. So that would also be a step. Finally, this is just, I don't think I'm going to put this on there, but this is just for your information. Even if it goes actually from, let's say, a line to a space like this, this is also considered a skip. Why, you may ask? Because the distance is greater than right after it. So if I start back here and I go from line to space, this is considered a step because it goes directly up to the next one. This, if I go up to the next line, so this is step, this is skip, right? Because we're going line to line. Now this one goes from line to space, but it's not the space directly above or below it. So because of that, because there's this space in between here, right? There should be a note there, right? Here, if it were a step, or a note here. That's another option. But neither of them, or that note isn't there. And so this is also a skip. If I keep going, in this case, we have a line to another line. And so this would be considered a skip under that definition. But also, again, because it's not directly above or below in the space. Again, if I keep going, this is also a skip because the next note is not here or here. It is way up. So this is a skip. A couple more here. Line to line, skip again. And then finally, line to space. This is, again, another skip. So really, if you don't see two notes that are together like this, then it should probably be a skip, all right? So keep that in mind for next week. Other than that, I think that gives you enough information for next week. And again, remember that these grading things, what you see on your paper will be different than what's in PowerSchool. So again, I don't expect you to be perfect. I don't expect you to know everything. I might throw in something that challenges you, and that's good for you, okay? Not everything is going to be easy, and that goes for all subjects in school, not just math, science, English, and history, right? So music can challenge you too. And that doesn't mean that you're bad at music. It just means that there's more to learn. And I'm still learning as a teacher. If you watch back on the Sight Reading Factory exercises from the first week, I think it's SRF 0, I was struggling a ton. And so, or not a ton, but I definitely struggled on one part, and I gave you all a point for that. I am still learning. Just because I don't know everything doesn't mean I'm a bad teacher or I'm a bad musician. It just means I'm still learning, and everyone's still learning. So keep that in mind. Know that it's okay to make mistakes and that nobody is perfect, all right? So have a good rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you, and we will see you in class.